Were sensational against the Bulls. Big question here, can Leeds peak again? It's a ground that's not been too kind to them though, beaten in the last two visits. The league table makes pleasant reading if you're a Rhinos fan. They're on top of the table, just a one blip all year against Castleford 3 weeks ago. They are 2 points clear of the field. Warrington lead the chasing pack with Saints breathing down their necks, and Leeds' next assignment after this is a trip to Saints on Friday. Hull are at the wrong end of the ladder. The injuries have taken their toll, but just 2 wins from the first quarter of the season isn't good enough for the demanding fans here. Now then, there is a full programme to be played today. This one starts us off at 3. It's Huddersfield St Helens and Wigan Hull KR. Castleford against Warrington kicks off at 3:30. Bradford against the Harlequins has a 6 o'clock start at Odsal, as does Catalan Dragons against Wakefield in Perpignan. OK, this is the way the two sides line up on a bitterly cold Easter Monday lunchtime. Tony is the fullback. Then it's Byrne and Hall, Yeeman and Rayner, Berrigan and Dykes. Forwards, Cusack, Lee and Wielden. Radford the skipper, Tickle and Washbrook. And the bench, it's Horn, Burnett, Briscoe and Fellous. Peter Sharp, the coach, will be glad to see the return of Richard Horn, albeit off the bench. Leeds have got Webb at fullback, Smith, Ellis, Senior, Donnell, Sinfield the skipper and Burrow. The forwards, Scruton, Diskin and Burgess. Luke Burgess getting his first start in Super League. Peacock then moving into the second row alongside Lauatiti, and Jamie Jones-Buchanan is the loose forward. And on the bench, the return of Danny Maguire, Bailey, Ablett and Tansey. The coach is Brian McLennan. Well, Hull just 2 wins, next to bottom of the table, but they are aiming for a 3rd consecutive home win against Leeds here. They beat them in 2006 and 2007. The Rhinos, though, 2 points clear, as we've just seen. The past history will tell then that the result is anything but a formality. They ought to remember the last couple of years here, and of course the 2005 Challenge Cup final when Hull got the verdict. But they've blown the opposition away in 4 of their 7 matches so far. Both their away wins, though, at Huddersfield and Wakefield came after awesome first halves. 22-4 up at Huddersfield, 38-0 up at Bellevue. And their supporters, after that 44-2 victory over the Bulls on Thursday, have travelled here in great numbers and great heart. 8 tries to 0 against Bradford. They were absolutely magnificent. Now, strangely, Leeds won each of their first 5 visits to the KC Stadium, 2003 to 2005, but they've lost their last 2. So you have to go back to April 2006 for their last win here. Kevin Sinfield leads his men out. Needs 26 points, does the Rhinos captain, to become only the 3rd lead player in history to score 1,800 points for this famous club. Well, Hull, aiming for a 3rd consecutive home win against Leeds, are also aiming for a 3rd straight home win of this season, having beaten off Wigan and Wakefield with battling displays here. They've had the worst luck with injuries of any of the Super League clubs so far, but when the injured stars return, Peter Sharp believes that Hull will have one of the best squads available. They've had to integrate 4 new signings this year, and no less than 8 players have made their debuts so far because of those injuries. But the big problem for them is, and Gareth Rayner, the number 5, the winger there, will know this, they've only scored between them 18 tries so far. So where will the points come from against the best defence in the business?
Certainly be difficult, won't it? We know the likes of Sean Berrigan and Adam Dykes, the 2 halfbacks, if they can combine, then they must be in with a chance. But Leeds were absolutely outstanding in the opening 40, and then in a different way, the Rhinos became a defensive solid wall. Bradford found it very difficult to get through. Also, both sides, they may be carrying a few injuries. 2 derby games, it really does take it out of you, and it's a matter of how much petrol will be left in the tank late in the game. As Eddie has mentioned, Leeds, it's not a happy hunting ground here at the KC Stadium. Will they start with a blitz, or will they just take it nice and steady? We'll have to wait and see. I think Hull's opportunities is that they must give the ball a little bit more air.
There's a great crowd inside the KC Stadium for the visit of the Leeds Rhinos. It's a bitterly cold afternoon, but it is dry and the pitch is pretty firm. And it's the black and whites who will have first use of that football in the opening set of 6 in this first half.
Not a back kickoff though, they allowed it to bounce, got into the in-goal area. You can see there they're applying that pressure. The quality against Bradford in that second half with the defensive effort. Brian McLennan, the Rhinos coach, must have been absolutely over the moon. A repeat of that today, and you just try to think, where will the black and whites bring out the skills to break it down?
Well, 2 big number 6s sitting on the bench for both Hull and Leeds today, Horn and Maguire. Let's go down to the side and Bill.
Eddie, a major concern for Hull is the fitness of Richard Horn, and I understand there was a problem with him in the warm-up, and he has of course been out with an injury. Peter Sharp was absolutely disconsolate before the game and saying, I just can't believe this. Now, I'm not sure exactly what the extent of Horn's problem is, and hopefully have some more information on that.
Thanks, Bill. Keep a close watch on that. A foot injury has kept Richard Horn out for the early part of this season. If he does get on, the Great Britain international Richard Horn, it will be his first appearance of 2008. Meanwhile, this is Nick Scruton for the Leeds Rhinos, halted by 3 defenders, and Matt Diskin in at dummy half. Looks for Jamie Peacock, who will carry the ball forward for the Rhinos here.
Tremendous run as well by the big fella, getting over the advantage line.
Sinfield will hoist a high kick. That's got the wind behind it, though. Oh, but it bounces and is in. Oh, he's on the line there. Tony had the foot on the line when he collected that. It was a dreadful bounce for the Hull full-back. He collected it and put a foot on the line, hence we're going to get a goal line dropout here. Look, there.
Little doubt about it. Even on the second, on the right foot. There's the first one, there's the second. Good work from the touch judge there with a flag on that far side.
Unbelievable kick from Sinfield. And so here comes Luke Burgess. This is 21-year-old Luke's first start in the Super League. 3 subs for Queens on loan last year, 3 subs for Leeds this season, and he looked formidable, didn't he, against his younger brother Sam in the Bradford colours on Thursday night. Here is Peacock, and Peacock, thinking about the offload, takes the tackle. That's the 3rd tackle. Leeds inside the 20 with Diskin, and Diskin finds Burrow. Burrow gives it width to Lauatiti. Here is Keith Senior. Senior drops the ball, it went backwards, held further backwards by Scott Donald. Play on. Diskin again. Now it's with Sinfield, and Sinfield is halted by the black and white's defence.
Pretty good defence by Hull there as well. Brian McLennan knows they're going to come up with something pretty important to get through it.
Hull always raise their game against the blue and amber jerseys of the Leeds Rhinos, no matter what the personnel in their team. That's a nice little dink over the top by Sinfield, but it's gobbled up by the black and white's defence. It was Berrigan who was quick to get to that.
Started strong and started very basic, and just look at the speed of the line that they're trying to dominate the Hull defence, but really showing their arm, just trying to take on the Hull set. They were missing Carvel, Dowes and Paul King as well. Big losses, but I'm sure with Scott Wheeldon and Peter Cusack they're going to rev up for this one, Steve-O.
You're right, Terry, and Cusack and Wheeldon, they really have got to make a big impact. Good offload there by Tickle.
He finds Kirk Eamon. Let us go down to the sideline. More injury news, or more news rather, on Richard Horn.
Well, there he is, Eddie, and I'll tell you what, there was a deal of concern on the Hull bench, because the team came out, the 4 subs came out, at least 3 of them came out, and there was no Richard Horn. And it emerged that he'd gone back to the dressing room. As I said, there was a problem in the warm-up. He has been out with his foot injury. He felt it again in the warm-up. Peter Sharp was absolutely in despair at that news, but he continued with the warm-up, but he has been back into the dressing room to get more treatment and to have a strapping applied. It's fair to say that Richard Horn is not fully fit, and so Hull have gone into one of the biggest games of the season with one of their key players not 100% fit.
Well, it's just another catalogue for Hull's injury-ridden season so far, that. Peter Sharp was expecting only to play And here, Hull are caught offside. Peter Sharp was only expecting Horn to play in a couple of bursts of 10 minutes anyway, Steve. Oh, he mightn't even get that out of him.
It's tragedy, isn't it, regarding Peter Sharp, because they're just running out of numbers. When you've got to start a big game like this and you know that one of your subs is not 100%.
Not good. Well, when you look at the bench, he's got one injury, 2 youngsters and a stranger in Adel Fallouz.
He can play a bit of Adel Fallouz, played against him a number of times, Eddie. He comes up with some big shots, he really try and lift his whole team. But it's really how Leeds going to back up. Can they play with the same intensity as they did against Bradford?
Well, they're trying to get through here with Burrow. That's the 3rd tackle this set of 6. Diskin scampers in at dummy half there. He's got Scruton standing inside him. There he is, takes the return. Here now is Peacock. And the Hull defence, well, they stole the ball from Peacock.
Right in front of the official. Peter Sharp will not be impressed with that. And Tommy Lee will be just had a little chat with the official, Phil Bentham.
Danny Tickle being called over by the referee.
Tell them, whenever we give a penalty, you can't throw the ball away. Okay? No, mate, penalty. Don't throw it away anyway.
Leeds penalty, the second Leeds penalty. Don't throw the ball away when I give the penalty, says Phil Bentham. This is enormous pressure on this Hull line. Senior. He is tackled over on that far side by Todd Byrne with the head bandaged. So playing with a knock. Lauatiti for Leeds. Good defence, though.
It is, and it's important now that the black and whites really defend on this. Try to stop Leeds getting that second set of 6, maybe the dink into the in-goal area. That look forward.
This is Jamie Peacock on one knee, gives it away to Brent Webb. Now it's with Jamie Jones-Buchanan. Jamie Jones-Buchanan all the way, no held back by Adam Dykes. 3 tackles gone, Diskin to Webb. All this pressure, can Hull survive? If they survive this, it will be an enormous confidence boost.
What a big hit from Washbrook.
They've got men out wide here, but Kevin Sinfield won't need them. And Sinfield gets the try, but the referee hasn't given it yet. Adam Dykes and Danny Tickle asking that the referee looks for obstruction in the build-up to this.
He threw the dummy. I don't think he went behind the man that ran through. We'll see quite clearly on the head-on shot. No, I think it's far too wide there. He'd committed himself already. I think this try is going to be given. He tried to get out of it. James Buchanan, as far as I'm concerned, the man had already committed himself, and I think Sinfield will have opened the scoring at this game.
No try is the decision from the referee. He got a word in his ear from Ray Tennant then, because Danny Tickle was taken out. And so the try is disallowed, and Hull have a penalty, and that is relief for the black and whites.
Is it ever Peter Sharp?
Oh, this mightn't be.
We nearly got it. A fingertip to it.
Lee Smith was leaping from the field of play there. We're going to try and knock the ball back into the field of play, but didn't manage to do that. Although the referee now says that it's a Hull scrum.
Back here.
Well, what a relief it will be for...
He jumped from the field of play and touched it, Lee Smith, so...
Either way, they get the head and feet.
Here come the black and whites with Craig Hall. Missed Rovers and loses the ball, first touch.
Well, there's nowhere near it as far as I'm concerned. All Leeds on the attack.
This is Senior.
Lost possession, did Hull there. That's got to be a penalty, surely. It is.
Todd Byrne all over the top of Keith Senior, trying to slow Leeds down.
He's got to be very careful. That was reefed out, was it 2 men? It's hard to see. Lauatiti was involved. But I've got to say, Todd Byrne has got to really watch himself. That's the second occasion that Phil Bentham has given him a bit of a caution on the run. He's all over the man trying to play the ball.
Diskin ball inside to Jamie Peacock. And Peacock is hauled down, just 3 metres short of the Hull line. Well, you just have to wonder when the dike will break. Diskin comes back this way and finds Rob Burrow. He's enveloped by Cusack and Thomas Lee. Diskin, Webb. Webb throws it back wildly. It is picked up by Jamie Peacock. Peacock goes round one, goes round two. Gets the ball away. Diskin. It's incessant, this Leeds pressure. Lee Smith halted again. Fantastic defence from the black and whites.
What a tackle by Tony.
Burrow. Back it comes, Scruton. And
This
Nick
is
Scruton underneath the post on the last.
This is unbelievable defence from Hull.
Diskin! Can't get the ball down.
Lost it. No try. Tap on the 20. Diskin going close. Good effort. Good thinking. Went high, did Danny Tickle to just stop the man from offloading, getting the ball down onto the ground. Boy, nervous times.
Well, that's magnificent defence for Hull. If they want any encouragement, the first 9.5 minutes of this match has surely given it them.
But if they want to win the game, Eddie, they've got to stop the second phase rugby. Jamie Peacock is having a field day in Hull's 20, keeps offloading the ball, and that is the thing you don't want to do with Leeds. You don't want to give them second phase when you've pulled up, you've made the initial contact in defence, but then you're having to defend again. They've got to complete the sets now, start knocking them out and try and get the good kick downfield and defend in Leeds territory.
Well, they've not got over the halfway line yet and had the ball in hand in Leeds half of the field. They've got a couple of tackles here, maybe they can do that. And they're now over halfway with Danny Tickle. First time in the match, 10 minutes gone.
It's important now that this is a very good kick and chase. For once, they've got to apply some pressure to the Rhinos.
It's a crossfield kick, and that's going to bounce. And Senior gets to it and then flicks the ball to Scott Donald. And Donald gets out of one tackle. And it was a very good job that Craig Hall was there for the second one. And Hall doing a good job on Lee Smith now with help from Lee Radford.
What energy is being shown by the black and white so far.
Lauatiti offloads to Senior. Senior's got Byrne all round him. He offloads then to Scott Donald. Donald comes in field, gets the ball away. Penalty now against Hull. Another one. 4-1 the penalty count, and a high tackle this time spotted by Phil Bentham.
Bit of a high shot from the hooker.
Okay, stay on, lads. There's your mark, Kev.
No, my apologies, it wasn't. It was a big hit from the prop forward, Wielden.
Wait for his foot
Right
first.
into the face.
Wait for it. Go.
Well, once in 11 minutes of the black and whites got into the Leeds half.
It was the last tackle as well, and they had to kick. This pressure is unrelenting. Peacock, though, goes down.
It's the energy. How much is it taking out of them? That's the big question now.
Burrow to Jamie Jones-Buchanan. Tries to go inside Dykes, does so, but is halted by the second man. Diskin, Rob Burrow. Burrow back it goes to Webb. Webb gives it then to Scruton. What a boost for Nick Scruton to start this match, and what a boost also for Luke Burgess to get his first start in the Super League. Scruton had 18 games on loan at Hull not long ago. This is Luke Burgess. Last tackle here for Leeds. Back it comes again to Sinfield. Sinfield stabs the kick in. Oh! An air shot by Kirk Yeaman. And a simple try for Rob Burrow. Well, it has been coming since the very first whistle. We would never have thought it would come like that. It was a neat little kick to the in-goal area, to be fair. But Yeaman, he just had a wild slash at it with his left boot, missed it completely. And Rob Burrow says, thanks very much.
What a beautiful offload there. Tremendous stuff by Sinfield, got them into position. And what about the dink? Yeaman did everything right. He anticipated he was going to dink into the in-goal area, and as Eddie mentioned, was nowhere near it. Oh, it was a gift for Burrow. 2 tries turned down, one by the video referee Ray Tennant, but not on this occasion. The bad air shot from Kirk Yeaman has allowed Burrow to at least get the clock, should I say the scoreboard, ticking over.
Big kick for Sinfield this. If he kicks it, he'll become the first man in Leeds history to kick and score in 50 consecutive games. And he has done. 50 up, half a century for Kevin Sinfield, and 6 points for the Leeds Rhinos. Black and whites 0, champions 6.
It's going to take a big dig now from the Hull outfit. They really have got to try to get themselves organised. No doubt Peter Sharp will have sent the message out, listen, we want this ball right down into the corner. They've got to get back into the game. No possession in the opposition half, apart from once.
Well, they're going to start in the opposition half now, but of course ball in Leeds' hands in the shape of Brent Webb. Peter Sharp's not got a bad record against the Leeds Rhinos, won 4 from 5, and they won home and away against Leeds last year. 16-12 here in May, 17-6 at Headingley in September. Lauatiti for Leeds.
They always make it tough here. They like to play very hard in the forwards. And in the past, sometimes the Rhinos have been sucked into a forward game. Was it a little knock on there?
Well, Phil Bentham had a very close look at it. Burrow does brilliantly well again, gives it to Burgess. Oh, what a pass from Burgess! Brent Webb. Webb, wide it goes to Donald, missed out one. Donald will cut inside. Oh, the referee, what's he given here? Is he given the forward pass?
Obstruction. Crossing, he says. What a pass from Burgess. Oh, the one from Webb was all right as well. Well, what's wrong with that?
Well, he went back inside, round the back of Luke Burgess, I think, Brent Webb.
Oh,
there.
come on, he committed himself back in there. That's shocking. Come on, referee. Well, that is amazing.
Well, it's the letter of the law. I don't know what you're saying.
The man was going backwards. If he was going towards the man, I could understand it.
Hand clear. Hold the 10. Go.
Hull in possession. They won't be complaining about that decision. Neither will Lee Radford, who's in possession of the football right now.
Go.
He will play it to Tommy Lee. He'll give it to Dykes. Dykes will give it to Yeeman. Yeeman trying to go inside Gareth Ellis, operating again in the centres today. He's in an exceptional form this year, Gareth Ellis, just emphasising what Leeds will miss when he goes to the West Tigers in the NRL next year. Thomas Lee again, down the short side with Dykes. A stab in for Gareth Rayner to chase. Oh, that's a horrible bounce. Yeeman hacks the ball forward. Oh, it just beats him.
It deserved it. Beautiful work on that short blind side. The Leeds defence allowed the ball to bounce. Very, very lazy there. Real mix-up between Smith and the fullback Brent Webb. Yeeman, oh, Dykes, can't believe it.
Can already see, Steve, can't you, the way that Hull are playing. They're playing on the edges, and when they're in the channel, they're staying in that channel. They don't really want to take this big Leeds pack up in the middle of the pitch. What this Hull sides have got to do, because that break come from just a bit of honesty of not moving up. The ball went away from you. As soon as the ball goes away, you've got to keep moving, and that's where Hull let themselves down a couple of minutes ago.
Well, you can't say that about the Leeds outfit, because that is exactly what they're doing. They're turning the tackle. The support play is outstanding.
And the offloads are just a delight to watch. Not if you're a Hull supporter or a Hull player, but they offload at every opportunity. Here's Sinfield, now Peacock.
And again, Eddie, targeting the Hull's big lads, because they know that if they take the goal forward away from them, the likes of Berrigan and Dykes can't really shine.
That ball's high in the air. Rayner is after it. Rayner didn't fancy it. The ball has gone backwards. The ball's still gone backwards. Hull have got it in the shape of Rayner. Here's a penalty to Hull now.
Well, he missed it on the first occasion there, did Rainey, but he got a lucky bounce, went right into his ribs. Got it through. Sinfield had a second attempt, and the pressure is off. Well, the outstanding play we've seen from the Rhinos so far, unbelievable. It could have been actually 4 tries. Yep, 4 tries on the board. As it stands, the official scoreline is only 1 try and 6-0. And Hull will be thinking, surely the tide's got to turn when they can get a little bit of field position.
Well, Danny Maguire returns. There he is, number 6 on his back in that tackle with Gareth Ellis. And if anyone can make hay while the sun shines in terms of the offloads that Leeds are performing here today, it's this young man, Danny Maguire. He's missed the last 3. He sprung his shoulder, remember, against Melbourne in the World Club Challenge. What a hit by Peacock. Ooh. This is Motu Tony. Now it's with Peter Cusack. Leeds getting 3 and 4 in the tackle. Last one here for the black and whites. It comes to Adam Dykes. Up it goes, looking for Rayner out here. That's hanging in the air, and Lee Smith claims it well. Lands and turns defence into attack. Bumps off Berrigan. Can't get away from Lee.
Tremendous take. Fabulous run.
Here's Maguire.
Again, we've seen the Leeds wanting to get on with the game, play the ball quickly. Hull desperate to hold them down. Good work by Washbrook, got away with it.
64 tackles from this Hull side, 39 by Leeds. There's 65. Here's Diskin, quickly out from dummy half.
Brilliant play.
Burrow again. Now Ryan Bailey.
Ooh, they're hanging back. He gives the indication to me that black and whites are tiring.
Maguire stabs the kick straight into the arms, though, of the Hull defender, who is Adam Dykes.
Not the best kick. Dykes took it gleefully. And again, it's been exactly the way that this game's gone so far for nearly 20 minutes, is that Hull, time and time again, trying to bring it out from their own line. They just can't get anywhere into the halfway line to make sure that the kick is good.
Hull were beaten by a point by Hull Kingston Rovers on Friday, and they lost 3 players from that match. That has been the story of Hull's season. And the fact that they've got so many people here today watching them, I know it's Leeds who are an attractive opposition, but it's a testimony to the fact that they are rugby league daft in this city. And also it's a testimony to the fact that Peter Sharp has put out a competitive side once again here, despite all the injuries that he has suffered since day one. And he does say, once his injured stars return, they will be all right. They will kick on up the table. If you remember, it was a poor start to the season last year for them, but they still managed to finish inside the top 6.
And a lot of the youngsters that are playing as well, Eddie, are gonna come through and really have had the backs against the walls. Have not played with a full squad, and they'll get the confidence of playing the likes of Leeds and playing the likes of St Helens.
Well, the defence is solid. It really has worked hard. Okay, as I mentioned, Leeds could have scored perhaps on 4 occasions.
Great offload again from Sinfield to Burrow, and here is Maguire, and here is Peacock. And Peacock, again another offload. Maguire, great ball from Maguire. It's Sinfield, it's Brent Webb, it's 4 more points for the champions. Brent Webb, who scored a hat-trick against Bradford on Thursday, the 3rd hat-trick of his career, and his 2nd against the Bradford Bulls, comes up with his 4th try in 2 matches.
Tremendous rugby league. The Rhinos are really hot, back on the inside dummy. Then they get the ability to offload. They're always looking for it. Brian McLennan, their coach, obviously has given them the big message. If you get the chance, just like Peacock did there on that occasion. And what about the delayed pass from Maguire? Back on the inside. Sensational stuff. It doesn't come much better than this. How many times have they offloaded the Rhinos? Magnificent stuff. Sinfield, calm, collected, as all fullbacks should be. You look and support down the middle. Webb is rewarded yet again. He's back to his best, the New Zealander.
Well, he got a try here in a 16-12 defeat last May, Brent Webb. The New Zealand internationals made it 10-0. This kick from Kevin Sinfield will make it 12. Hull 0, Leeds Rhinos 12 at the KC Stadium on an Easter Monday lunchtime.
Tremendous stuff by this fella, leading by example. Now watch, look how he makes sure that his ball carrying arm does not touch terra firma. That is sheer quality. You know, midway through last year, I just got the impression that this fellow wasn't really enjoying his football. Kevin Sinfield, to me, looked completely lost. And in fact, the coach, at one point, indicated he wanted to turn him into a hooker. And then for some unknown reason, he started to hit top form.
Well, his form this year as the Leeds skipper has been outstanding. Here is Ryan Bailey. In fact, Castleford apart, Leeds have been outstanding. They're certainly going to be the team to beat this year. And can you imagine what it's going to be like on Friday when this lot turn up at Nosey Road to face St Helens, who looked in good nick themselves on Good Friday against the Wigan Warriors. Saints Leeds, Friday 7:30. Sky Sports 1, HD 1. And Warrington Harlequins on Saturday. Sky Sports 2 and HD 2. 2 great games. And Featherstone Sheffield, of course, kicks off the weekend on Thursday from the National League. Oh, Maguire and Smith.
What a try. What
Fantastic.
a Fantastic try, Eddie. I am witnessing something extremely special. Maguire had the football in his hand a millisecond. 99% out of 100 players would have gone on their own. No, he knew where Smith was. He knew exactly what to do. Quality, skill of the highest level. The break initially by Gareth Ellis. Normally the second row, but he's had plenty of experience playing in the centres, especially when he was with Wakefield. The fend back on the inside. Look at that. He didn't even look for Smith. He smelt him. He knew he was there. Brilliant. There could have been 30 points on the board here. And despite Hull's brave effort in defence, they just can't stop. Quality and skill like this.
It's intuitive, isn't it? It's nothing else.
And Gareth Ellis, though, you've got to credit him the way that he slowed up the tempo of his run, because he knew that Danny Maguire was going to turn up, and it's good to see the likes of Scruton out there near the centres, coming up with the play, giving the ball to Ellis, and showing that prop forwards can play, Steve-O.
Time on.
Well, Steve-O would never deny that prop forwards can't play, Terry. Not in your company or Barry McDermott's company. Not that brave. Sinfield to add the extras. 18-0. And the champions are running white hot.
Outstanding. Look at that. He knew exactly where he was going to run. And Smith knew exactly where that ball was going.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Time off, Danny. Just wait, please.
Yes, it's terrific. It really is. It isn't for Hull, of course, and their supporters who've just gone a little quiet and maybe are fearing the worst. 24 minutes gone, 18-0.
You just can't stop that, Eddie. That is quality.
You see, Dykes is also playing patched up. I mean, Brian McLennan, he doesn't look like he's the happiest man in the world, but I can tell you he is. But Dykes is playing patched up. I think Berrigan is carrying an injury. And when the dice rolls against you, Terry, in terms of injuries, it really does.
The players who took the pitch the other day against Hull KR, where they got beat, they'll want to take the pitch again. And there are going to be players busted out there.
Penalty here to Leeds again. That's the fifth penalty that Leeds have received.
It was poor play by Richard Horne.
Fifth penalty Leeds have received. And Hull have got 3.
The very first time where they can just get their defence going to them and keep the Rhinos pinned down in their own quarter. Knock on.
Well, there's a mistake from Ryan Bailey, and that proves, and a little smile, a wry smile from Bailey, it proves that they are human at times.
Well, he's claiming that he was pushed away by Scott Wheeldon, but I think he just tried to con the referee.
You know, when you look at all the young talent that's out there on this field, it's no coincidence, because Hull and Leeds have contested the last 2 grand finals at academy level. So the future of both these clubs really is in secure hands.
The future of the game.
Very much so. Here is Radford. Here would be Hurt, the Hull skipper.
Now, can we see something from the 2 halfbacks, Berrigan and Dykes?
Well, here is Washbrook.
They've got the quality there. Look for Motuchoni chiming on this left-hand side.
Dykes finds Richard Horne. Good ball to Yeaman. Yeaman to Rayner. And again, Leeds muscle up in defence, but that was great stuff. It was a lovely ball from Richard Horne. Shows what they've been missing this year. There's Horne again. Here is Dykes. Now it's with Washbrook. Washbrook goes right and finds Craig Hall. Hall flicks the pass. It's Todd Byrne. And Byrne gets to within 3 metres on the last tackle for Hull.
They've got to set up camp here of Hull now.
Radford flashing it back to Dykes. Crossfield kick looking for Gareth Rayner again. Ball is knocked forward, but by whom? It's a tap on the 20.
Well, they obviously feel, Peter Sharp, the Hull coach, perhaps thinks that Lee Smith may be a little bit dodgy under the kick. Has been tested 3 times so far in this game, but that's the first time he looked a touch uncomfortable.
18-0 here. Leeds a quarter of the campaign gone before today. 240 points scored, only 76 against, 44 tries scored, 14 conceded, and 7 of those in the one match that defeated Castleford. It's been a sensational opening quarter of the campaign for the champions. Add to that the fact that they won the World Club title as well, and that's why they're the team to beat at the moment.
It hasn't been a bad quarter this game, has it, either for the Rhinos?
Here's another knock-on. Well, maybe it's too easy.
It's not a matter of that. It's just that Brian McLennan, the coach, has said to them, look, get on with it quickly as possible.
Just wonder if 18-0, 28 minutes gone, you just lose your concentration a bit.
No, they just want to get on with the game. They know that they can blitz them away. It could have been 30-odd points on the scoreboard. They know that. And amazingly, if Hull can get a try, 6 points just before half-time, maybe
they're in it.
It'll swing around, will, this game? Don't worry. They'll get a lot of opportunities in that second half at least to get good field position.
Adelpha loose to Berrigan. Look at Peacock flying out to the line to get Wielden.
Oh, he's lost it. Went backwards. No, it's a knock-on.
Peacock just flew out of the line then, and there was such pressure on Scott Wielden.
Listen, Peacock has not been nominated as the best forward in the world on 2 occasions for nothing.
Arms right over.
They're on fire. The confidence running through the side. We thought it was going to be difficult for Brian McLennan, a new coach, take over from Tony Smith.
He's just dropped into the job like you putting your slippers on.
But that's the difference as well, and you've seen that Scott Whelan there trying to offload the ball. There was no way in the world that he was going to get that away. Whereas you watch Leeds when they have the ball, it's so controlled, isn't it? The way that they just offload the ball and the way they spin out of tackles, not with 3 and 4 guys hanging on to them.
We often talk about the basics, but they really are important. You've just got to make sure you do them right. And Leeds, they are certainly doing that.
Because they're winning the play the ball, aren't they? They're just running, they're running really hot, and they're just winning the collision where they're landing on the front, and they're up and they're playing the ball as quick as they can.
And everything is sticking as well. That pass from Maguire wasn't the best. It was round the neck of Keith Senior, but he held on to it.
And when you're confident,
he's lost it there.
Sticks.
Peacock got a bit of his own medicine then.
That was good defence. Picked him up and spun him around and really drove him in. Lost control of it.
Offside Leeds. Too quick out of the blocks.
Get it into the corner. Just shows you how eager the Rhinos are, especially this fella, Jones Buchanan. Isn't he firing at the moment? Well, they all are.
What a hit again from Peacock. Is this his second game in 4 days?
If I was taking the ball up, Eddie, I think I'd be looking where Big JP was.
Yeah, and keeping away from him.
Second! Come on, Matt. Go!
Here come Hull with Richard Horne. Ball on the inside to Motu Tony.
Much better by Hull. You see they've slotted Sean Berrigan in there to take control from the dummy half.
There he is. Berrigan stabs the ball to the in-goal area. It's well collected by Carl Ablett. He had to be brave then. He just went down and smothered the ball and stayed the right side of the goal line.
Have you seen the size of this fella? He knew when the football got there it wasn't going to be moved over. Look at the power from Peacock as well. Difference between the two sides, Derry, is that when they are getting into it, they get in over the advantage line, and then the quick play of the ball is leaving them all astray.
I was just going to say, that's why you look to someone inspirational into your team, and Jamie Peacock come up with a big shot there, and then his first bat to take the ball up as well for the Rhinos.
Good tackle by Todd Byrne, it had to be as well.
All this pressure on the Hull side. There's a kick from Maguire into open space, and Motu Tony will pick it up for the Black and Whites. You have to wonder about Hull's stamina, don't you? Because they played on Friday, albeit Friday lunchtime, and Leeds played Thursday night. I don't know whether the extra 12 or 14 hours, whatever it was, makes that much difference in the recovery.
It does, don't worry about that. But you've also got to look at the fact that look how much defence that Hull have had to make in this first half.
Jamie, you're not square.
They'll be happy to get into the sheds. Good break there.
It was a good break by Fallouse, but it was halted by the tackle of Ablett. That's Dykes. This is Washbrook.
5
Last tackle for Hull, just inside the Leeds half, as you can see. And Berrigan with the kick to the corner.
Good thinking.
I don't think that's going to find its way over the whitewash. It isn't. It's a good chase, enthusiastic chase from the black and whites.
Either way, they've got them in their own quarter. They've got to try to keep them down now. But they've also got to be aware of the antics of the likes of the halfback, Rob Barrow. Maybe a chip over the top.
Here's Brent Webb.
When you've got an 18-point lead, it's quite often they'll go for something different.
Bailey.
Mototoni's way back.
Go.
Sinfield to Ellis. Tries to shrug off the would-be tacklers. Can't get away from the 3 of them, though. That's the last one for Leeds. That's a good set of 6 for Hull, keeping Leeds inside their own half of the field.
3 markers, lads.
But
3 markers.
Not standing square.
Well, there were 3 markers, is the shout from Phil Bentham. Well, 1, 2, 3, and there are 3 men at the ruck there. It's going to be 1 immediately in front of the man playing the ball and 1 immediately behind him, not 3.
Well, that was poor work by Dykes. He should have got back to 10, or at least made an attempt. The official would have allowed play on.
That's fatigue.
It is fatigue. Tired.
And he made up his mind that he was going to be the man who was going to get out there and put the kick pressure on. I don't think he realised that Danny Tickle was still involved and he was underneath the other Hull player.
It's Diskin, and now Peacock again. Spins to the ground under the challenge from young Mike Burnett, one of the 8 debutants for Hull this year.
Leeds know
that Jones Buchanan.
Leeds know, and they feel confident enough another try. That'll really seal it as far as they're concerned.
Diskin, that's off the chest of Senior.
Knock on. Just tried a little bit too much to try to keep it alive. Good work by Diskin, though. You can see that Senior had set off a touch too early. Again, the control from Matt Diskin. Brian McLennan has changed the hooker's style. Not only is he just running and then offloading, he's confusing the defence. The first and second markers, is he going to go on his own? Is he going to throw the dummy? Is he going to put the kick away? He's changed his game completely to the better.
Leeds are hungry for the football and getting it back. Can Hull get this ball away from their own goal line? It's Burnett again here. He will play the ball quickly to Berrigan. Berrigan to Richard Horne. Good kick into open space from Richard Horne. If he gets a kindly bounce, I was going to say it could have been a 40-20, but Brent Webb was back quickly. And Brent Webb almost through. Important tackle up by Todd Byrne, but then he makes a...
He's got to bring the captain.
And he just pulls him down and delays the restart from the play the ball.
That is a professional foul and really deserved the yellow card. 10 minutes in the sin bin. He really has pushed it, this fella, Todd Byrne. How many times have Hull kicked? They kicked early in that occasion, on the 3rd actually. Good tactics, but when you get down there, you don't give the ball away. That's play on. Still play on.
Hull have got it back. Fallouse.
Penalty.
He'll play the first. He'll play the first. Oh no, he's right. You're right, Steve-O. He blew the penalty for stripping the ball in the tackle. 2-on-1.
2-on-1, spotted on. Good play by the referee, Phil Bentham.
Well, that's play on.
That's play on. That's play on. It was all play on.
And Berrigan gets hold of it.
He never touches it. That goes backwards, that goes backwards, that goes backwards. That's spot on. That's good work there by the official.
And then Danny Maguire stripped the ball from Fallouse. 2 men in the tackle. Penalty. Hull in possession with Burnett. Now then, this is a chance for Hull. Not been many of them in this first half, but this is one. It's with Horne. Over the top he finds Yeeman. Yeeman has to come back inside. Gets the ball away to Berrigan. Berrigan then finds Dykes.
Got to get the link. Stand out wide, not short at the play of the ball. Tony will just flick it away to his right-hand side. No, they've gone the blind.
Richard Horne hangs on, and Richard Horne trying to examine this Leeds defence. 3 minutes to half-time. Hull looking to score a try for encouragement for them and their supporters with Dykes.
He's lost it.
Lost the ball. This Leeds defence against Bradford, they repelled all borders, and for 37 minutes or more here, they are doing exactly the same.
What a hit from Ryan Bailey. Got the shoulder right into the ribs. There was no way in the world they were going to keep hold of that.
Tight arms, lads.
Kick and chase, no fullback at home.
Keith Senior to try and launch this attack. Let's go down to the side and Bill.
Eddie, these are hard times for Hull FC. It's a really demoralised atmosphere in the ground at the moment from the Hull supporters. They, like the team, are doing it tough. But I tell you what, Adel Falous, he's only here for a few weeks. In fact, due to go back next week, I think it is, his loan spell ends. But he's out there and he's pumped up. And if anybody is trying to rally the troops, it's the Frenchman who's on loan. I'm not sure how good his French is. His English is. I don't think it's that brilliant. But he was in the middle there saying, "Come on!"
Yes, he's a good old boy, is Adel Falous. He's played for his country 19 times, and he made his debut against Hull KR on Friday. He was with the Catalan Dragons last year, but he's at Toulouse this year, and that's why he is, at the moment, at the KC Stadium.
I must say, Bill Arthur's impression of Peter Sellers is absolutely superb.
Flick pass out wide to Todd Byrne.
Look at the numbers from Leeds. They work as a unit. Do you know, they've never stopped talking to each other, the Rhinos, non-stop. Get in here, fill in there, move about, move about. It's just incredible.
They just have such pride in the try line, don't they? They don't want any team to score against them, and by not conceding a try to Bradford, they just value it so much, and going into the games, you can see the work they're just working in the tackle. Obviously overworked on that occasion. Big Ryan Bailey.
Yes, wouldn't let go of Richard Horne. And the referee blows for the penalty. Just stand away from him. He's done it again this time. He has managed it, has Lee Smith. He has kept the ball in the field of play. They have not found touch, Hull. He did that earlier in this first half.
What a tremendous
this time
effort.
it worked for him.
Beautiful stuff. Or was he? No, he was right. He was absolutely spot on.
But that, again, you've got to wrap hold of the ball. When there's three men in the tackle and you're holding on to a Leeds player, you know that he's going to try and promote the ball. And this is what comes on the back of it. And the whole players at the minute can't get back.
It's Rob Burrow.
Well, they'll just play out the final seconds.
Here's Sinfield coming back inside. Webb. That's touched.
Play on. Back to 6.
Won't be any time for 2, never mind 6. There it is. 18-0, Hull ahead. Boos ring around the KC Stadium. If they're the Hull fans, that's a bit unfair, because their team is absolutely flat to the boards in terms of injury. But it's the Leeds fans who are on their feet, and they are applauding. 18-0 to the Leeds Rhinos. Burrow, Webb and Smith with the tries. Sinfield with 3 successful conversions. All the tries coming in the opening 24 minutes of the half. Hull 0, Leeds 18.